Welcome back to the Secrets of Kumihimo series, and this is video number 5. Now that you've gotten used to the Kumihimo square disc and the flat braid, we're going to start incorporating gold beads. Now these gold beads are going to give a great metal texture, but feel free to use any type of beads to make it your own.
Get our email newsletter for beading news, sale announcements, new product announcements, and more. Link is in the description below.
Let me show you the materials that we're going to be using today. A Kumihimo disc that's square, cord, Kumihimo weight, some scissors, E6000 glue with some toothpicks, some huggy spools, E6000 fray lock, and we have some findings here. Lobster claws, some gold beads, charms, ribbon end clips, and some jump rings. Let's prep our materials for this bracelet. So I cut 10 cords and they're 96 inches long. And now I'm going to go ahead and prep the ends of the cord. I'm going to take just a little bit of E6000 fray lock on my finger. And I'm going to go ahead and just go like that and just make sure I got just enough to cover. Now I'm going to let that dry completely. But since I have one here, I'm going to show you. Now that the end is nice and hard, you just take your scissors, cut at an angle. There you go, a very nice sharp tip for stringing on your seed beads. So tie all 10 cords in a simple knot at one end, and then we're going to add our Kumihimo weight. And then I'm going to start adding 30 beads to each cord and finishing them off with a huggy spool. I'm going to add the last few beads onto my cord, and I'm going to wrap it around the spool, and we'll be right back. Place the knotted end into the center like this, then insert the strands into the slots with the spools so it looks like this. So now we have our 10 beaded cords with the huggy spools already attached to the square disc. Keep in mind, in the beginning, the cords can be tangled. We want to avoid that by being as patient as you can when you lay out your cords. We have our numbers 1 through 12 up here and 1 through 12 on the bottom, but they're circled. And then on the sides we have A through D, and then on the right side they're circled. So I have our 6 cords at the top in slots 4 through 9, and our bottom cords on the bottom in 5 through 8. So we're going to start off our braid by taking the top 6, and I'm going to move it over to right B. Okay, we're going to do top 7, and we're going to move it to left B. Okay, now we're going to take bottom 6, and I'm going to move it up to the open spot up here to top 6. Now I opened up a spot down here, bottom 6. I'm going to just move top 5 down into bottom 6. Now I created an open space up here, top 5. I'm going to move bottom 5 up to top 5. And then bottom 5 opened up, so I'm going to move top 4 there. So if you could see, I've just gone up and down after I've done the side to side. And if you noticed, I worked just the left side of the disc. Now I'm going to work the right side of the disc, starting with bottom 7, because now we have an opening up here at top 7. So we're going to do bottom 7 up to top 7, top 8. Oops. See, they can get tangled here. Let's see. Oh my goodness. There we go. And we don't want the beads yet. Get back down there. All right. So again, top 8 to bottom 7, bottom 8 to top 8, top 9 to bottom 8. And now we got to put these cords back up to the center. So right B up to 9, left B up to top 4. And now we're right back where we started in the beginning. 6 cords on the top, 4 on the bottom. That has completed one cycle. So we're going to do this again, and we're going to create 10 more, and a total of 10 cycles. So I'm going to do this 9 more times. Just to create about 1 inch or so we can have something for the ribbon end clip to attach itself to. So again, I did my sides, bottom 6 to top 6, top 5 to bottom 6, bottom 5 to top 5, top 4 to bottom 5. Done that side, going to the other side, bottom 7, top 7, top 8 to bottom 7, bottom 8 to top 8, top 9 to bottom 8, and then pull our sides back up to the top, and then completed another cycle. So I'm going to do that a few more times and we'll be back. All right, so I have done 9 cycles, and this is kind of what it looks like. I've got a little bit of a tail there, and we're going to use that tail again to add the crimp end on there. So I'm going to do one more cycle, and then I'm going to start putting the beads in. So we're going to do one last cycle. Making sure to keep all of our cords nice and neat. And we're going on this side. And there we go. So we have 10 cycles and we're ready now to drop the beads. Okay. So when we drop the beads, we're only going to be dropping the beads when we do the side strands. And I'll show you why. Because all the beads are on all cords and they're going to get their turn when they get to the side. But when we're dropping them, you're only going to have to worry about dropping it before you get to the sides left and right. Okay. So again, I'm pulling top 6 to right B, but I'm going to drop a bead, just one, and I'm going to put it in the slot B. Do the same thing as we did a 7 going over to left B, but drop a bead. All right. So as you can see, the beads are down here. And what I want you to do though is pay attention, because when you're going to take your bottom 6 strand, we want to make sure that that strand and cord is on the outside of that bead. Okay. And we're going to do the same. We're going to make sure that all the cords stay out of the way. And keep those beads centered. Okay. Same thing now when I go onto this side. I want to make sure that that cord stays on this side of the bead, on the outside. Same thing with these cords. Okay. And you're just going to finish up your cycle. Okay. And now we're going to go again, 6 coming over, but drop a bead before you go over to side B. 7, drop a bead before going to left B. Okay. And they're going to just drop in there like that. And do the 6 and the top 5, bottom 5, up 4. Just finishing up your cycle all along, making sure the bead stays in that center. Top 8 to bottom 7, bottom 8, top 8, top 9 to bottom 8, and bring the sides. And when you now bring the sides open, you just want to just make sure it's nice and tight. So just give it a little pull and a tug before you pull them up at the top. That will help keep your beads nice and tight as well. And then we're going to keep doing that. We'll go a couple more. Drop bead over to right B. 7, drop a bead, go to left B. Keep those beads center. And you can help by actually just giving it a little squeeze if they get out of line. Again, bottom 6, making sure that cord's on the outside of that bead. Top 5, bottom 6, and we're just going back and forth, finishing our cycle. Again, on this side, making sure that bead is on the outside. And we're finishing up our cycle. Taking our side ones, giving a little tug. And tug. And we're just going to keep doing that. And I'm going to keep doing that for a few cycles, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone a few inches, and I just want to stop at this point just to show you what it looks like. And sometimes the beads can get out of line. And see, there's this one here that's kind of not popping in the right direction. So you just want to kind of align it and kind of squeeze them together and get them straight again. Just go every few inches or so like this to check your braid, realign your beads, because it's a lot easier to realign your beads as you go until you get to the end and then try to realign all of them. So just check them every few inches. We're going to finish this braiding and then we're going to finish this bracelet. So we'll be right back. All right, so I want to show you how much I have accomplished. Look how long we got. So I actually have one more cycle to do and to drop one more bead, and then we can kind of finish this bracelet up. Here we go. Drop. And you can actually have this bracelet as long as you want. If you want it shorter, you can make it shorter. You could stop at any kind of length that you want. If you want it longer, you can make, a dog leash. It's completely up to you. All right, we finished with our last beads. But remember, now we got to do 10 more cycles to get that inch for that clasp. So I'm going to keep doing this and we'll be right back. Okay, so now I got enough of my braid for my end clasp. What I'm going to do now is take all the cords off of the disc and also off the huggy spools. And I'm going to just do a simple overhand knot so we can finish the bracelet. We'll be right back. All right, so I finished the ends. We used E6000 glue and I put it on both sides and both ends and we let that dry and then I cut it. We went ahead and put a ribbon end crimp on and I added some jump rings and a charm. I'm going to do the same on this end and I have the second end crimp with a clasp. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that. And then we're going to take, I forgot to mention when doing this, it's great to use a dipped pliers so you don't mar the surface of the crimp. So we're going to just do that, get it in line there, and just close that crimp nice and tight. And then we have the clasp on the end, and there you have it, a 10-strand, triple wrapped beaded bracelet. I hope you enjoyed making this with me today. In our next video, I'm going to be making a 12-strand with cup chain. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and sign up for our email newsletter.